welcome to the Courageous Self-Care podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On this show, we talk about self-care combined with courage. So clearly this isn't the self-care we're talking about where you're getting a manicure or a pedicure or a massage, although sometimes it takes courage to schedule those appointments and claim some me time. What we're talking about here is self-care that goes deep. It comes from a place of deserving, knowing that we're enough, honoring ourselves by nourishing ourselves in whatever way fills us up. Because I'm interested in lasting transformation. I like life to move forward. I don't like to dwell on what hasn't worked or what's not working. I like to resolve it and move on. That allows me to be the most present with myself, with others, with my family, and what a gift I'm able to give to me and everyone in my immediate circle by all of them knowing that I honor myself. And when we set that example, automatically it goes out energetically to other people and gives them permission to do the same. So it's really important to connect in real life. We have so many ways to connect through technology. You're listening to this on your phone or your computer, and it's fantastic. And at the same time, now more than ever, human beings are craving face-to-face connection. And so I thought, how can I create something where we can learn about courageous self-care and connect not just through online means, but in real life? And so I got the idea for a Courageous Self-Care Festival. I'm putting it into action. I'm flexing that courage muscle. I have big plans for this event. It's happening in Calgary, in Canada, later this fall. And I know lots of you, my precious listeners, are nowhere near Calgary, Canada. And so I thought, how can I still convey the importance of this festival, the importance of connecting one-to-one and in community, and share the incredible speakers and vendors from the event with you. And I realized, I have a podcast. I can totally do this. And so I decided to have the speakers and some of the VIP vendors do an interview with me on the podcast. So today I have with me the lovely Mary June Tracy. Mary June, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and nervous.
Thanks for sharing that. I love when people just get really authentic and vulnerable, and you are in a safe place. We're just going to have a conversation. And
cool.
Thanks for waiting so patiently while I was talking about the festival. I was really getting into it. So Mary June, we would love to know who you are and what you're up to these days.
Oh boy. Well, I am, my business name is called the Guru Mama. So a lot of people call me Mama G or Guru Mama. And I'm a psychic medium and spiritual love of life coach. What that is that I am a metaphysical teacher. And I have many classes on the go right now. I'm teaching 5 days a week, where I teach the Journey Club, which is the self-discovery of who you are and your belief systems, your values, and learning the big F, which is forgiveness, and stepping into that forgiveness and what that means. And it is a two-parter. It's like a little Journey Club school in September, and then we begin again in December. So we have that going. We also have the Magic School, which I just opened up this year. And the Magic School, we are discovering the goddesses with the chakras. And each goddess is aligned to the chakras that came through for me. And we are also learning the tarot. And I have a series, an 8-week class on the tarot right now. And we're going through what is the tarot and understanding the arcanas, the major and the minor arcanas. And so we have that. We also have spell casting, which is a very popular class. Everybody wants to know how to cast a spell and work with spell casting. So we're doing that also. And we're talking, and when I teach, I like to give everybody a very broad sense of different avenues they can go to collect even more information if they want to go further on in their studies also. So that's a little bit of some of the things I'm doing right now.
Oh, I love it. I just love learning about the metaphysical. There's so much richness in what we can't see. And I love that you're making it accessible and fun for people. Like, who doesn't want to learn to cast spells? That's fantastic.
I know. I know. It's so much fun.
What's an example of a spell that you could share with us?
Oh, easy. A cinnamon spell. So a cinnamon spell is very easy because everybody has cinnamon in their cupboard. And the thing is that with the cinnamon is also for money. It brings in that money, and it wants to bring in that money. So you could use cinnamon, the powdered cinnamon that you have, that you sprinkle on toast. And you can add some cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. And then you're going to think of, and the thing is, when you're doing a spell, is that you want to, it's not just like, oh, I want money, and then, the money comes in. You think about, well, what do I want money for? What is my concern with money? Is it that I need money because I was in a car accident, or I need money to repair my car, or I need money because my bills are piling up? And so it's really to get clear on it. And when you get clear on it, then you can actually set the intention. And it's all about intention. Intention is so powerful. And when you set that intention, then you can write it out. And I love to take some time to write out to bring, whatever it is that I want to bring into my world. So it could be an intention, as I'm saying, for money. So thinking about the money, bringing money to me. I love to have the money run all around me, so you can kind of make a little rhyme out of it. I want to bring the money flowing into me so that I can go forth and spend the money on bills that provide happiness for my family and me. And you notice like there's a little bit of rhyme in there. The reason why we're rhyming is because we'll remember it.
Yes.
Remember rhyme. So it makes it fun too. So then you take a spell candle, and a spell candle is little tiny candle. It's about 5 inches or so, not very big. And you can find spell candles in actually very odd. You can use a birthday candle if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you have these things around your home, but we don't think about it. And you could take and find one that's maybe green, because green represents money. If you don't, use a white one. White is a beautiful one. It represents all. And so then you take if you have cinnamon essential oil, or if you don't have cinnamon essential oil, look for what you do. Maybe you have just lavender essential oil, or maybe you just have frankincense essential oil. Okay. So, I mean, cinnamon would be awesome if you have it, but if you don't, we can substitute, and it's okay.
Got it.
So you sprinkle a couple drops on your candle, and you rub it on your candle, and you rub your candle with this oil. And as you're rubbing it, you're reciting what you are wanting.
Yes.
And you take it, and then you rub it in the cinnamon and the sugar. The reason we added sugar is because we want the sweetness. We want to bring in that sweetness. We want to bring in that love for it. And if you don't have, say, a birthday candle or a spell candle, you can use a little votive easily, and then just rub the cinnamon all around it also. And then you light your candle.
Okay.
Your candle, you're thinking of all what you are wanting to do, and just taking some time and taking some deep breaths in. As you're taking the deep breaths, you're allowing yourself to center and allow it to burn for about 30 minutes or so. And then you can extinguish it, and then you can light it again the next day. So using like a little candle, then you might find that in 30 minutes it's going to be gone. So that's fine too, because it's gone off. And this is going to help you to bring in a reminder. And now that's just not enough to bring in the money. Now you've asked, now you have to listen. Right. Because your guides, your angels, your gods, your goddess, your divine, whomever you believe is your universe, your source, is going to give you information on, maybe you got to call. Maybe there's somebody that needs, that who can on your car. And it's like you're afraid to ask, but you keep on getting, you got to call George, So, and then George has information to tell you where to take your vehicle. It's all in that listening. It's opening yourself up. And that's just a very basic spell. You can actually even make little mojo bags, like in a little cotton bag, and add your cinnamon and maybe some citrine, which would be very nice, or tiger's eye. And you can add a little bit of basil in there and peppermint in there, and maybe some chemical into a mojo bag. We call it a little mojo bag. And then you can just add a couple drops of your essential oil in there, and you can carry that around with you. So that's another way. And then you can have it, and every time you smell it, hold it, and you hold it into your left hand because you want to receive it, and you hold it and you can bring it in and bring it into your heart. So that's something that's very easy, not too complicated.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. Love it. I didn't know that about cinnamon. I just knew that it's good for getting rid of ants.
It does that too.
No wonder I like to have cinnamon in my oatmeal. So, Mary June, clearly you have a wealth of knowledge and you are putting it into action. You're teaching it to others. Why did you decide to become a part of the festival and share this, and why is it important to you?
One of the reasons I decided to come into the festival was because, well, one, actually I declared October as self-love month. And you can, on my Periscope and on my Facebook Lives, I talk about it every day. So we talk about different areas of bringing self-love in. And as you said in your intro, it's more than just doing your nails.
Yes.
And just getting a massage. And yes, those are important, but it's also important, and self-love has to do with your relationships around you and how you deal with your relationships, how you deal with your own self, right down to how you feel about yourself and intimately feel about yourself is all about the self-love. And seeing posts like this come up is such a wonderful thing, because it's putting that energy into action that is coming forward.
Right.
All the changes that have been happening in our world today, and with a lot of information that is coming out more and more about people standing in their self-love and coming forward in their self-love, and sometimes it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Having many women gather and men gather to do this is just putting it into that positive vibrational movement that's coming forward even stronger.
Well, I'm so glad that you're a part of it. Your energy is fabulous. You have so much great information. I'm sure your table is going to be amazing. So thanks for sharing that. And we're going to shift into the other section of the interview where we're talking about self-care and courage specifically. So courageous self-care, I feel like they belong together and they also are separate entities. So what does self-care mean to you, Mary June?
Self-care to me is honoring myself and honoring who I am as a not only as a woman, but as a spiritualist. And understanding that not everybody's going to like what I say or believe what I say, but not hiding in the shadows anymore and coming out to be my true authentic self. That's really where the self-care is. And sometimes there is resistance, not only with friends, but even family.
Yeah.
When you are allowing yourself to do it on a daily basis, then it also shows those around you that, okay, she isn't as crazy as what you think she is.
I love that. Excuse me. And I got covered in goosebumps, which I call truth bumps. So we're marinating in the authentic truth here. And I remember hearing once along those lines that if we think of ourselves like a work of art, for me, this really helped, because a great work of art will create dichotomy. Some people will say, oh my gosh, this work of art is for me. I love it. It's exactly what I want. And other people will be completely repelled, which is fine because it's not for them. And for some reason that having that idea really helped me step into who I am and not hide in shadows either, like you were saying. And then when we have the courage to do that and share authentically who we are and the gifts that we've been given, we are at the same time giving other people permission to do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you equate that with self-care. That is so rich.
Thank you.
Welcome. So now courage, the reason that I decided to put courage with self-care in my business model was, number one, so that I would benefit and be really courageous, because I would be setting an example. And number two, because it does take a lot of courage to share who we are. It takes courage to initiate self-care. It takes courage to create change and transformation in our lives. And so interviews with the festival speakers and vendors, I thought, how could we model courage? And so my question for you to help model that is, why don't you share something with us that not a lot of people know about you?
Oh, well, that's kind of a hard one because I am an open book.
Yes.
Those who follow me really, I just share, I share a lot of intimate stuff about myself, and even sometimes my family does not appreciate it, but anyways. But one thing that people, because they see me on the spiritualist side and doing a lot of the metaphysical, they don't know that I was raised a very strong Catholic, and I was actually studied with this of Mother Seton.
Wow.
I was studying Mother Seton for a number of years before I was decided not to continue on, and then changed. Then I found and got married and stuff. But a lot of people don't realize that I've studied theology and many different religions for several years before I even head into this part of my life. So
that's fascinating. It feels like maybe you were getting a solid foundation and a place to learn, and then like a launching pad. This is what a lot of people believe, and now I'm going to go beyond that into the more esoteric. And you can do that because you have that really solid foundation.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Very interesting. So at the festival, we are going to be filling swag bags for the first 100 people who join us. And if you've been following these interviews, you will know that we have some fantastic stuff going into them. So what are you going to be putting in there, Mary June?
Good question. My mind has gone through so many different things that I wanted to put into the swag bags, and I make my own line of bath bombs, and so I was thinking of doing putting in little samples of the bath bombs with my mugwort tea. Mugwort tea is one of my number one sellers, and mugwort tea, and then a gift certificate for $25 towards anything that I do.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And I actually just took a bath with one of your bath bombs the other day, and it smelled amazing, and there were flowers floating in the bath water. It was beautiful. So very timely that you're sharing right now.
Awesome.
And, so generous. I love that. Now, so many of our listeners are nowhere near Calgary, Canada, and I'm sure they still want to be able to connect with you and find out how they can cast more spells and learn about the metaphysical. So where can they find you online?
They can find, Facebook is like a really good place to find me because I'm all over Facebook. So I am on Facebook. You can find me. I have my regular page with Mary June Tracy, or my business page, the Guru Mama. So a lot of that is on my Facebook page, and also on my website, maryjunetracy.com. So they can find me there. I do daily tarot readings on Instagram. So they're posted on Instagram every day, where I do a daily tarot reading. And also I'm on Snapchat.
Wow, you're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I'm on Periscope also. So if they're out of, a lot of people who are in Europe and say Russia and that, they know about Periscope. So you can find it easily on Periscope.
Wow. Okay. And I really admire you for doing something every day. I've tried daily stuff, and it takes a lot of effort and commitment and devotion. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you for sharing that, Mary June. And I'll put the link to your website in the podcast description, so it's easy for you listeners to find that there. You can just click on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have really enjoyed connecting with you today and learning more about all the cool stuff that you do. And thank you for sharing that spell with us. That was really
No problems.
And listeners, what I would love to do is, if you are in and around Calgary, please do join us at the festival. There are going to be expert speakers. There's a choose your own adventure component where you get to choose which speakers you feel aligned with. There's a wellness passport, which means that in your program, you get a series of questions and you get to go up and ask each vendor a question that's going to create really meaningful and authentic conversation with them. And then once they've finished answering your question and you're done at that booth, you get a stamp. There are going to be prizes at the end of the day. There's going to be these swag bags. And we even have a face painter coming, which I'm so excited about. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a real gift that you give to yourself. And I would love to give you a gift as a thank you for listening today. A complimentary ticket to the festival. So they're $20, but you can get a free one by going to selfcareticket.com. That link is also in the podcast description. And you can even bring a friend. So please go there, register yourself, and I would just really love to see your smiling face at the festival. Mary June, thank you so much again for being here today.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Oh, good. I'm
not
glad.
as nervous anymore.
Good. And for you listeners, thank you so much for joining me today and for tuning in. The podcast is airing 3 times a week these days, leading up to the festival. We're getting all these insider interviews done. And I still do teaching episodes as well on the nuts and bolts of courageous self-care. So be sure to tune in again. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.